Danielle Kristen is so much more fun than Kristen Danielle.
Well, sometimes things don't work for Danielle Kristen. And I have a feeling everything works for Kristen Danielle.
Not always. I don't really know what I'm gonna say. We'll see what happens. Imagine the very best coconut macaroon you've ever tasted, but then make it kind of caramelly and crispy on the edges and a little salty and a little custardy in the middle. That is what this week's Genius recipe is. It is no wonder it's one of the greatest hits of all time.
Introduce me.
You guys, we have a special treat today. We have
a huge treat.
Danielle from Rustic Joyful Food is here again.
Yes, thank you.
But this time she's here to show us her recipe that has been deemed genius long ago and was in Genius Desserts and everybody loves it. But now we finally have you here to show us how to make it and tell us all the stories.
It's gonna be so much fun. And I actually wrote you 6 years ago when I was just finding out about Food 52 and falling madly in love with it. And I was like, oh my gosh, there's her email address. And when I wrote you, you responded.
Yes.
And I thought it was like the best thing that ever happened to me. Yeah. And I told you, we have this really cool recipe. And then we actually found it today when I got here, which is so cool.
September 5th, 2014. Hello, Kristen. I've got a simple, mind-blowing recipe for you. It's from my just-released book, Rustic Joyful Food, My Heart's Table. A few years ago, I started researching macaroons, how to make them, and how to make them special. Where was the egg yolk? Where was the butter?
Yeah.
Where was the fun?
Yes.
These chewy custard beauties were born.
Yes.
I put the recipe up on my blog today, rusticjoyfulfood.com under blog.
I didn't even tell you. I didn't even put the link.
So I was gonna just go click back on the link to see it on your blog. I cannot.
And you couldn't, no, go find it. Please, hello Kristen, go find my recipe, please.
You also included a photo and the recipe.
And they look photo.
They look so appealing. So I did write back that day, amazingly.
This is 6 years
had
ago.
It together.
Wait, and when you wrote back, I was over the moon excited. I was like, oh, I felt like it was my big break. I'm like, Kristen from Food 52 wrote me back and she said she might try it. Did you try it right away, or you didn't try it for, I feel like it was another year or two. And this is really funny. When we were going back and forth, you were like, okay, so it says 8 ounces of condensed milk. And I was like, yeah, totally, it's a whole can, whatever. I was like, writing my recipe down, like, how much is one? It's about a cup, right? In a can, it's about a cup, right? Yeah, it's totally a cup. It's a cup of condensed milk. It's a 14-ounce can.
Feels like
a cup. It's a cup. So that's actually what I put in my book, my self-published book. 1 cup of 8 ounces, because I was being fancy. That's what the ounces in there. 8 ounces of sweetened condensed milk. So when we were going back and forth talking about the recipe in my mind was right, but you were using what was written. And so I was like, there's more milk in it. So then when I started researching and I was like, this is so weird. I wonder why hers aren't turning out the same way as mine. They should have this chewy ribbon around the outer edge. Then I realized what had happened.
Both versions were
delicious.
Amazing.
Amazing.
So, but the problem was I had made the one version and then I couldn't get it out of my head.
And you fell in love with that version.
Yeah.
In the recipe, we start with sweetened shredded coconut, sweetened condensed coconut. And I've had a lot of people use unsweetened coconut. You're not gonna get the same texture. It's not gonna be as custardy, but it is still equally delicious. Here, I'll have you hold the beautiful bowl. And you can we have 17.5 ounces of coconut. They, since in at least the Pacific Northwest, do not make that size bag anymore. So we just measure it out. It's roughly 6.5 cups. And you see how, how great I measure?
Well, as we've seen this
recipe,
look it works.
I just have to look the other way.
No, you guys, this is how a home cook works. I mean, some of them probably don't work this way. But I mean, honestly, look it. If it's moundy right here and you have a big gap right here, you're totally fine. Look, 4. And we're going in for 5.
This is the Danielle Kristen way.
This is the Danielle Kristen way. You guys, we share names. I am Danielle Kristen.
And I'm Kristen Danielle, and I'm the one who is like, beep, boop, get the scale, tear it out, make sure.
And I'm like this. Don't move. 5, 6. And then I'll be like, we actually need an extra half a cup.
Oh my gosh.
And boom. Okay, see, we totally got it.
Danielle Kristen is so much more fun than Kristen Danielle.
Well, sometimes things don't work for Danielle Kristen. And I have a feeling everything works for Kristen Danielle.
Not always.
So here comes the fun part, the genius part. The whole egg. Because I know people are like, oh my gosh, you can make an egg white whatever, or save the yolk for pudding. One yolk. And then you try to like eat it or sit it in a bowl of salt to cure it. I mean, I don't know. I'm not into it. I'm more of a not wasty person. So use your hands and crack the whole darn egg.
Well, this is the really fun part though.
Oh, you should do it and then I'll help scrape it out.
Okay.
Go for it. It's just like already a party.
You don't get to do this in the Kristen Danielle version.
You don't.
You measure.
See, I'm like, crack the can open and use it up. And then we have a weakling. I panicked a little bit. We want a teaspoon of vanilla.
Yes.
Oh, these are cute. These are vintagey. Oh my gosh, these were somebody's grandma's. Might not have been our grandma's, but it was somebody's grandma. So we're gonna do a teaspoon.
And
flaky sea salt. So this is really important. If you have a really beautiful salt like Maldon or Jacobson or something fun that you really love, we want about 3/4 of a teaspoon, and I was just gonna guess, but let me get the 3/4. So I'm gonna do the Kristen Danielle way. And we're gonna go a half, measure. And we even have another one. You guys, this is why I'm doing this. It feels so wrong to measure this. Because the other me, see, and I want a little bit more for good measure. That's more than a 1/4 teaspoon. Oh, and our butter. Our butter, this is a super important part.
our stick of butter.
Pour it in, girl.
Okay.
Butter.
Whole stick of butter.
A whole stick of butter.
You're a genius.
Thank you. And then I broke up the yolk just a little bit. And here we just are gonna do our stir method of swirling your spoon around the bowl.
And you really can't overmix this, right?
You can't overmix it. There's no gluten in here. There's nothing crazy. The coconut's not gonna do anything weird. And you know what else is really fun? To use this base as a base for brownies.
Whoa.
Incredible. So it just goes on the bottom and then your brownie mix goes on the top and you're baking it for like your 18 minutes or 20 minutes, however long you're baking your brownie recipe. Life-changing.
And we haven't actually talked, I don't think, about the fact that you had a restaurant, which is where these got started, right?
Yes. So it's so funny. When my husband and I got married, we decided to open a restaurant. And a lot of our friends were like, are you trying to not have your marriage be successful? And we got going in it and I was really good at it. We had this tiny little kind of hole in the wall. We opened on a super shoestring budget and I just cooked food that I love. And it started everything. It started all the recipe writing, all the food career, everything. Like it really turned into this incredible passion. So I'm so grateful. Even though the restaurant closed, we lost everything, totally crashed and burned. From that broken time, like you just get a whole new path, which is so cool for people. So I love to tell people our story, like, hey, sometimes things don't work out. And then you find yourself 8 years later in the Food 52 Genius Recipes kitchen. And I could almost cry saying that because life just turns out in really beautiful ways. So I'm really happy that that restaurant closed. I'm gonna cry. And we used to serve these. People would line up and they would be around the block because we were kind of by the courthouse. And they, like when we were baking these cookies, like it filled the neighborhood. You could just smell coconut and butter and people freaked out for these. Here we are almost 10 years later and they're making like waves on the internet. That's really cool. So now we just gotta scoop.
We just scoop. We have two options.
We have two options.
What are you gonna pick?
Well, in honor of Kristen Danielle, I'm going to pick the scoop.
Oh, I want you to do this because I want to see how you do.
I actually like these. This is my favorite.
Okay, good.
So I legitimately I make sure that there's little crags and scoop them off. Look at that.
So cute.
That's it. You also have the cute little ice cream scoop edges, which are amazing.
I like yours though. These go in the oven. Do you remember how much and how long?
375 degrees for, I want to say 12 to 14 minutes.
All right. Yeah.
I think so.
Nailed it.
It's like I wrote it. Okay, and we're gonna bake them.
Yeah, let's go.
Perfect. Look at them, you guys. So these are a parchment paper cookie. It's so important that you use parchment paper. And even if you're a Silpat person, that's wonderful and Silpats work incredibly. But sometimes this cookie, because it's becoming caramel, it just turns into glue. So if you put the batter directly on your pan, goodbye. You're gonna have to soak it. You're gonna pull the tops off and soak the pan. They will not come off. And if you use a Silpat, it's like a 75-25. Because I've had people send me pictures where they stuck to their Silpat, and then I've had people send me pictures where like, my Silpat worked, it's victory. And I'm like, I'm so happy for you. But just don't risk it. These are such a parchment paper cookie. And these are so good on ice cream. Like you can break them up and put them on an ice cream sundae. You can put extra caramel over the top.
Well, yeah, look at
the
these
little bits.
That little bit, oops, that's hot. If we had a bunch of those little bits, those would be amazing sprinkled all over ice cream.
On ice cream, yes, 100%.
Or like on top of a cake for extra festive garnishes.
It just tastes like victory.
You're eating a macaroon already. Is it so hot?
I blew on it. I just picked a top little crag off like this and then blew on him. You should do it too.
Okay.
See? It's so good. I can't wait for people to make these.
Me too. For more genius recipes like this, every week, what do the people do?
Smash the like button.
And the subscribe button.
Subscribe. You know how you're watching YouTube and they're like, come on guys, smash the like button, like and subscribe. At least my 8-year-old, all the stuff that he watches. I'm like, I would do it too. I mean, you're all on YouTube right now, you know.
I didn't know. It's like, subscribe.
I know. And they're like, the bigger the better. We'll see you next week. And then you're like stuck in the bowels of YouTube. Anyways, we really enjoyed having you today. We had such a good time. Can't wait till next time. We can't wait for you to try these. So write a little comment below of everything that you loved and all of your wonderful things to say.
And all the other random stuff you bake them on. Yes. I just learned this from Danielle. Put them on brownies and under brownies and chocolate cakes. To do all that, like, subscribe, Rustic Joyful Food, all the books.
All the books.
Rustic Joyful Food on Instagram.
Yes.
Genius Desserts, so much fun stuff for you to do. So many ways to eat these macaroons.
Yes. Thank you guys.
Oh.
From Danielle Kristen.
And Kristen Danielle.
Who are both married to Mikes. That wasn't shorter.